Businesses across the state convene at the State House for an annual event.
It's all about businesses speaking to lawmakers about their concerns and challenges. Kadichi Lawrence has more.
From a fast food chain
We have almost 4,400 people who are employed at McDonald's throughout the state of Maine.
to a company all about safety and security.
So we develop a destroyer for the Navy.
Businesses across Maine gathered at the State House for an annual event.
It's an opportunity for our members and Maine businesses to come to Augusta and meet and connect with area legislators.
The event, called Business Day at the State House, started several years ago and is hosted by the Maine State Chamber of Commerce. Julia Muncy is the new president and CEO of the chamber.
Well, I think the main issue that businesses are facing is certainly workforce. We hear about that all the time.
Rachel Caprellian says she wants people to know that her organization provides career opportunities, not just a job.
And you look at these young men and women who are in their 40s, but they worked at McDonald's for 30 years, and now they're in the highest levels of management.
Kim Young is a testament to that. She started with McDonald's when she was 15. Now she's an operations manager.
McDonald's is the best place to work. There's never been a fear of losing a job or a shortage of work. It's a different day. It's a different day every day.
Over at the technology table, Billy Borden of General Dynamics says they're using virtual reality to train people on how to paint.
Lower cost to us, less material usage, so it's better for us. It's better for the environment.
He says it is a great way to attract the younger generation.
They're used to going at home and playing with this stuff. So if we can get them interested in coming in and learning a trade, that's really good for us.
Kodichi Lawrence, WABI TV5 News, Augusta.